I'll be honest. One of my favourite fighters in boxing right now.
Thank you, man.
Vergil Ortiz. How are you, mate?
Pretty good, ain't you?
Do you know what made you one of my favourites was your fight with Mean Machine.
Oh.
Where that was just a hellacious war where you had to show something and you gave something. How'd you look back on that fight?
I mean, I'm pretty proud of that fight. You know, there was a pretty good round 2 for him, and you know, I showed that I have balls and I have heart, and I love fights. So just being in that fight, it doesn't scare me. It excites me.
I thought you looked like a young Miguel Cotto. To be honest, that's the kind of thing that is that a good thing? Or
it's a good thing because that's when there's a lot of interviews out there where my dad's saying that he's built me on the foundation of Miguel Cotto. So I mean, he hit it right on the
Yeah, but even just like the sort of the way you shaped up, when you took a shot, you didn't really like. There's a poker face there. I just loved it. I just thought this is Cotto, and then I'm thinking you against Boots it could be like almost like a Cotto Mayweather kind of thing. Like that's the fight I'd love to see one day. You and Boots Ennis.
I think that's a great fight to make. It has to happen.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to happen this time.
I thought it was too.
Why not? What's going on?
I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can tell you is that I thought the fight was made, and then it wasn't. There was a yes on our side, and it just wasn't made. I mean, I really don't know the specifics of it, but I just know what happened on their side. So that's really all I can tell you.
You must feel like top of your powers right now. You've come through a few tests. The Boachuk one, that was a real test, but ultimately you won that fight. You outlanded the guy, right? You come through it. You must feel like at the peak of your powers.
I felt really good in that fight, and I'm only getting better. You know, I came off of an illness last year, and you know we've been bumping up the difficulty in the fights, and now we're here against Madrimov, and I feel better than ever.
Madrimov, that's to me, when I saw that being made instead of Boots, I could understand the Boots one. That's a big fight. Madrimov's not the sort of guy people just go and fight, but you are just going to fight him. Like, what's the thinking behind that? It's a tough fight.
The only thinking about it is that I want to fight the best opponents. You know, I know that's what the fans want, and that's what I want. I'm a very competitive person, and it excites me. It motivates me in the training camps. Makes me want to go to the gym and work hard and you know spar these guys and just put on a show for everyone around the world.
There's something that I've seen where you've sparred together in the past. I haven't seen this one. I don't know if that's out there, but I've heard him talk about it. I've heard you talk about him talking about it. It sounds like maybe he's downplaying what happened in that spar. Am I right?
I really don't know. I've read a lot of things. I did have my initial reaction, and some people were saying, "Well, things kind of got lost in translation." So I'm just like, "Well." Then I really don't know what to think about what he said anymore. And honestly, I think the questions were just directed to making a headline by that person. You know, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what the main goal was. And I think we've all been the victims to that. So that's just out of my mind now. I don't even care about it.
Did you learn much from those spars though?
I mean, I learned a lot, and I'm sure he did too. We had some great sparrings. They were very exciting. It was fun being in that sparring session. You know, I knew exactly who he was. I knew what kind of fighter he was and what pedigree. People love watching him fight. I like watching him fight. So being in the same ring with him, just kind of learning, trading blows, it was cool.
I think there will be, if you come through against Madrimov, I'm sure you're very confident that you will. I think there will be a call for you and Terence Crawford. I think the fans will start talking about that fight more and more and more.
Yeah. I mean, logically, I can see why. But as far as right now, we are just concerned about him right now. That's straight Madrimov right now.
You mentioned at the press conference yesterday you want one of those classic kind of fights. You're an old school HBO boxing kind of guy. What sort of fights did you like on there?
Man, I mean, the first one that I can think of is Mosley Mayweather. That was a good one.
When he rocked him.
Yeah. I was the only one. I remember being in the house and everyone was playing poker. And do you remember that? My dad's over there. We were all playing poker. I was watching them play poker. And I was the only one watching the fight. And I'm like, oh, and it was just like, they look at the camera, but he was already stunned. So it was crazy. I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember watching Mayweather De La Hoya. just all these fighters, Cotto, Margarito, those fights were amazing too. We would go to other people's houses and like they would have watch parties and stuff. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like I remember those days like they happened yesterday. So I want people to remember my fights vividly like I remember those fights because they were legendary.
Yeah, it's crazy you said about like when Mosley rocked him and you was like, whoa, whoa. I visibly remember watching Oscar De La Hoya in like the front row go, whoa, whoa, whoa. So at the same time, like who'd have thought all these years later you both had that same thing and now he's your man, he's your promoter.
Yeah, it's crazy thinking about it because I mean, like you say, who would have thought? And it's just it just comes from the work with how me and my dad have put over the years when I was an amateur and the work that we're putting in now with Robert and Hector Beltran and the whole team. My family supported me 100% of the way. I wouldn't be here without if any one of those small pieces were gone, I would not be here. So I'm very grateful for them.
Good man. When you faced off with him yesterday, face to face, you see anything, Madrimov?
You know, I think there's a lot of bullshit when people are like, oh, I see beer or I see anything. I'm just there looking at you because I have to. You know what I mean? I don't see anything. I'm just like, this is part of the job, whatever. Try not to laugh. That's what I'm thinking
your
of.
thing,
Try
yeah.
not to laugh or anything. So I mean that's just me being honest.
So how's the fight gonna go?
It's I don't know how I can't tell you exactly how it's gonna go. I think it's gonna be a chess match, but it's gonna be fun. It's just gonna be fun
I
to
love
watch.
fun. I love fun. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.